This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video, and today we have a top 16 breakdown for the 2022 European Finals that happened this past weekend. Same timing as the North American and the Oceania Finals as well. And real quick before we get started, one, I'm still on the road if you guys can't tell, so sorry for any quality issues, as well as I tried my best to get as much information about this event that I can. Right now it's only 16 of the deck lists, and I know what the top 4 are, and I know what's in the top 16. I don't know specifically what is in top 8 as of recording. If I get more information, I'm going to update this website, and if I also get the bottom 32 from this event as well, since this was a top 32 cut, I'll definitely update the website as well with that information. So maybe a little bit more incomplete than I normally like to kind of leave it, but I want to get the information out, and I'm gonna kind of have a hard time finding some time recording in the next couple days anyway, so want to kind of do it now. So sorry about that, but there should be some updates on my website as they happen if you guys want to keep checking them out, and I'll make announcements as well. So anyways, going specifically into this top breakdown, we do have in this top 16 5 crosshearts, with one of them taking the W, 5 Black WarGrey X, 2 WarGrey X, 1 Blue Flare, a Grandis, a Bloomlord, and a security control as well. So pretty diverse. We have been seeing Crossheart and Black WarGrey doing well. That was the finals for this event as well as the North American event. And unfortunately for us, there was no stream for the Europe event. So you don't have any actual details of how the match actually went, besides just people talking about it. No video footage of that as well. And also, we do have some really interesting decks that did get to the top 32 that didn't get into that top 16. This includes a Galactimon, an All-Force, a Jesmon, an Examon, and a Murdermon. So maybe if I get these deck lists, maybe I'll make like a part 2 of this video as well, going over the bottom 32, just because they're kind of more of the more unique deck lists when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I think that's all I want to say is 454 players, a top 32 cut, as we said, and we do have this top 16. Top 16 right now is just ordered by name. Last name specifically. Again, if I get the information of the better breakdown, I'll be updating this list, so make sure to check that out. But going into our deck list, we do have Christian's first place Crossheart here, and this is there's pretty much 2 ways to build Crossheart. There is the Mervamon and there's the Cross 7. So this is the Mervamon, and when I played this deck, and Crossheart was probably the deck I was going to bring to Nationals if I was competing in it, I played kind of like a weird hybrid version of it, and whenever I played the Mervamon stuff, I always felt it was more value than aggression. But as soon as I released my video going over it, I saw a version with Gravity Crush and Blinding Ray, and this is a really interesting way to kind of build this deck. So the main combo for it is that you would use the Mervamons to use the effects to play 2 of your Digimon with Crosshair in the trait without for sheep, so you can play your Cross 3s and your Cross 4s. Both of these will get their on plays, which means you get to get the draws, which are quite nice. And if you're able to keep it your turn as well, you are able to give these cards rush, which is great and can help you as well. So that's kind of the idea for this, is that you are able to get like a lot of aggressive pressure onto it. Merva keeps you getting a lot of value, and just in general, like having more of these Blinding Rays and Gravity Crush just means that you can extend your turns. And 2 memory is a lot in this deck. We have a lot of like 1-2 memory plays, and so being able to take 1 or 2 extra plays every turn is quite good right there. So pretty straightforward in a lot of ways. There are a lot of neat combos, especially with how Crossheart works, but you'll find like this is again very aggressive deck. When you get your pieces, you want to just start hitting face as fast as you can, and I'm pretty sure that's how Christian was able to get that W. So congrats to Christian on their first place finish with Crossheart there. And then also we have Francisco's second place Black WarGrey X, and honestly this is looking somewhat similar to the deck that we saw with our first place. All of them are kind of similar, right? The top row here, your ones through level 3s through 5 are generically pretty similar in a lot of ways. I think the biggest thing that I see from this one is that there are no level 7s. There's no level 7s, no Omnis. Normally it's a decision if you play the BT5 Omni X or the BT10 Omni X, and this is the decision of neither. I'm just going to get a lot of value with the cards I'm playing 3 of the Black WarGrey promos as well. This being able to not only do a cheaper devolution up to your lines if you need them and you have the extra memory for it, but also the Digiburst to be able to attack, unsuspend, and do another attack is quite good, especially when you do have like security attack +1 here, and you're able to make a kind of fatter line with all the X evolution stuff, or sorry, the X antibody stuff. So I think it's a pretty interesting way to build the deck. Also, no Yuya, so honestly, I think this is more aggressive than the other. I'm surprised it's only one Gaomon. I think you'd want to try to make room for two, but uh, honestly, just a more unique version. Again, I'm really flabbergasted there's no level 7s in this build and be able to get to second place. But just big congratulations to Francisco for their finish. And we're probably going to see more Black WarGrey X in the future. So next up, we do have our third place list. So this is Marco's third place WarGrey X. This is a WarGrey did get a lot of advantage from the inclusion of the kind of new X antibody line. Specifically, usually just this one, the Metal Gray X that we get from BT11 isn't as good for the archetype as the BT9 one. But again, I don't know. Greymon X Antibody is such a good card. It's such a really good card. It's essentially is like a double Hammer Spark in a lot of ways that you get to go +0 on because you're able to Digivolve for free, draw the card back, and then you say, oh, now I can Digivolve into these for 2 instead of for 4 or 3 respectively. So that just seems really good. There's like no downside for playing this card if you're playing in the archetype. And then it also has a great inheritable to give you protection. So I don't know, man. That seems like a lot to give an archetype like this. But I'll digress from there. The big kind of play to go into your X antibody is really nice, especially since you can do WarGreymon for BT1, get this security attack +1, as well as to prevent options. I do like the WarGreymon from EX1 as well for the blitzing, being able to attack a player or sorry, just being able to attack as soon as you can, so you can get some additional effects. You can also like do an effect where you have your Metal Greymon X, you Digivolve into WarGrey X, and then you can do the X antibody to go into there. I don't know why you would, but you could. You can also go up into your lines for Omni X as well as either one of these two with the WarGrey from EX1, so that's kind of nice. But obviously, just a really aggressive version of the Greymon package. Something that can punish a lot of decks that need a little bit more setting up. And the fact that this does just get a lot of power. And you're playing the Metal Greymon as well, so you can do, this deck does get some extra power boost from your effects. So being able to do that to maybe attack over like a Black WarGrey X, I think is also a good thing there. So congrats to Marco for their third place finish there. And then next up we have Luca's top 16 Blue Flare. We've seen Blue Flare do well in both other events. Specifically, like in North America, there was the Metal Greymon X antibody tech that honestly, like a bunch of people played. I'm not sure if they knew each other beforehand or not, but definitely a tech that's not in this one. However, just the generic deck itself, I think, is very strong. And I'm happy that it's seeing some play and some topping. I feel like it was kind of in the shadows to Metal Guru for a long time. I like how you are flexible with your rookies as well, so you can play the Shakomon as well as the Modoki Betamon. Cyberdramon is a good card here, and also the Cyber Launcher. Zeke Greymon is a great tech that we got in this archetype as well as from BT11, as well as the Triple Tamer to just kind of help you out. So I like this deck a lot. I like what it does. I like the fact that it is a cross deck, and also I like this Metal Greymon is just great. This is a three memory for Rush. Is great. The fact that a lot of decks want to go wide and you get to capitalize on it. The fact that there's some stunning capabilities from this deck too. It's kind of like a cross version of Blue Hybrid, and Blue Hybrid is very good for a very long time. So I think this deck is solid for what it is, and I'm happy again to that it's seeing some tops. So congrats to Luca for their top there. And next up we have Trapassi's top 16 Grandis. Obviously, we've been seeing Grandis for most of the events. It did win the Oceania event, and it did get a good amount of tops in the North American event as well. Not too much to say about this deck specifically. I would say this is pretty standard for a lot of things. Stingmon is pretty good once you're pairing with the Digimon battle. You get to gain a memory, which is great. Running 3 of the Metal Cobbleterrymon, which can be used to Digivolve on top of itself in case you need some more targets, but also being able to use the effect for suspending something of 6k can be nice there too. And then just kind of the regular package. 2 X antibodies, which honestly, I've this is the most I've ever seen X antibody in a Grandis. At least that's topped. Normally they cap out at 1 if they want it, and a lot of them don't. Also, the Digi eggs are a little bit different. Minomon being able to attack Digimon, it gets plus 1k, and also if this is Insectoid, it gets plus 1k as well. So generic just plus 1k on your turn for most of your top end, which is interesting. And it's just a couple of tiny tech choices, but nothing I think too wild for something like Grandis. So congrats to Trapassi for their finish there. And then next up we have Toumas's top 16 Bloomlord, and this is the only Bloomlord that we've discussed over these past couple events here. This is a deck that kind of was okay in BT10. EX3 did get Hydramon, which helped it out a lot, and then didn't. It kind of got some more plants from BT11. I don't see a lot of people playing it with like the Palmon and the Vegemon, but I think that it's a good deck when it works. The fact that it does have removal that's not deletion means that it does get around a lot of things. The fact that it doesn't hit on deletion. The fact that Hydramon bottom decks something, which means if you do this on something with Crossheart, it means that it doesn't get to save all the materials. So this does, this is a really tough card for a lot of different decks, and the removal for it is quite nice. And the only issue with it is that sometimes it's very, very difficult to get up to it. The fact that you need to go wide on board, the fact that you don't have as much cycle and specific searching as kind of other meta decks is a little rough. But again, if you are able to go off of this deck, sometimes hidden potential discovery just wins you the game if you ever see it and you get the lines that you want. And I think it's a solid deck. I don't think it's the best deck. I don't know if I put it in tier 1, but I think it's a deck that it can get a lot of reps and it can do very well, like it did with Toumas for their top 16 finish here. So congrats to Toumas for that. And to wrap it up for today, we do have Jorit Reidl's top 16 security control, and we've seen security control. Honestly, it's just been purple yellow. I think it's established far too many times that this is the way to build the deck right now. Being able to run just recovery, the fact that Sakuyamon is a good card. Dynasmon is not something I normally see, and also 4 Death Xmon. Normally I see like 2 or 3, but the Fat 4 here, something that can again really punish something like Crossheart, because you're able to, if they play so many tamers, you play it for free, you get to de-digivolve their stuff, which is stupid for the deck. That's just, everything's bad about that for something like Crossheart. Also, there's Omniswort as well. You don't have a way to digi-evolve into this for the tamer destruction, luckily for something like Crossheart, but the fact that you can play it from security and you get the undeletion stuff is quite nice. And just everything else is pretty standard. Some really neat one-of techs, so like Blade of the True, Fly Bullet, Swartz, I think that's really Dynasmon again as well, when you only have the Magna. Like, this is like the super greedy version. I've been seeing a lot of versions kind of have some potential to do some like 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 devolutions, as rare as they are, but this is strictly, I play Salamon, I hard play my Magna Angemons, I can digivolve into Dynas or Sakuya if I want. Or sometimes just hard play Sakuya because it's such a good card in its own right, and just kind of go from there. And then just have a lot of obnoxious tamers, including the Mimi and Kari, which can just make it hard for your opponent to do more than like 1 damage a turn. So congrats to Jorit on their finish there. I know this deck can be really obnoxious, and congrats for doing well with it. And that's going to be it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching again. I do apologize for not having the most complete data like I normally do. Again, if I do get the other half of the top 32, I'll definitely make sure to make a update video, or at least update the website so you guys can see the cards there. And that will be it for me. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it. Damn it.